So you know what I'm loving, dude?
What?
Is when you turn the lights on and how beautiful the backdrop of the shop's looking.
You know what would make this better?
Yes, I do know what would make it better.
Hey, don't tell me.
No, a fucking fish tank.
A what?
So everyone's watching too much TV during the quarantine. There's this awesome show called Tanked where they build these amazingly massive, fish tanks for rich people in their homes or wherever. And I would love to have one in the shop. But that's obviously not practical, nor can I afford anything like that. So obviously the next best thing is going to be a mallet that looks like a fish tank, but still functions as a mallet in case I need to use it to whack some stuff. So we're gonna make one. But first, we must make one out of wood for scale. So we've got 2 mallets for scale here. This one's for timber framing, and this one I'm borrowing from my buddy Thor. So we can't use that one. But I think something along the same size as this guy would be awesome. And then we're gonna go with the Deadblow concept. That way I can create some voids in this area. And we're obviously gonna use the most expensive wood I have in the shop. Walnut and Paduke? Yeah, why not? Why, yes, that's the size of the head. Question becomes now, how big do I want to make the handle? All right, so I want to put a maple strip down the center of this handle, so I'm going to resaw it. All right, so for a quick little glue up, we are going to use Quick and Thick. It'll go quickly. And we can continue pushing forward on this. This glue dries in like 20 minutes, supposedly. All right, so in this type of Deadblow mallet, these are super common. I've built a few of them. I've broke a bunch of them. And there's a lot of people doing them better than me on the internet. What you do is you create your wedged center before you put it together. So this is a 5-degree angle. I found that on here. You can find it however you like to find angles. We're gonna rip this in half, and then what we can do is, I'll show you here in a second. Bloop. Now you see, we've got a compounding 10 degrees, I would assume. No, John. No. But anyway, we got a wedge here. That will wedge out on both sides. And then when I put this together, now you can see where my handle is going to fit through, and we wedge it from the top. Spreads it out, holds it in tight, mechanical and chemical bond. So the point of all this is you want to create your 2 sides, and then to create the dead blow, we've got to trim this up first, and then I'll show you that. So we're going to leave our 10 in at the base at 1 inch. That's width off of center here. And I'm just going to trim these based on the size of the end of my mallet. The mallet ends will be trimmed regardless. So cut these square. So in order to make this a dead blow, you need to kind of fill the center with something that's going to make it dead. Is that how that works? Regardless, you need to create a void. A lot of people just use a Forstner bit, they poke a hole, it's super cute, and they fill it with something. I like to do things outside the box. So I'm going to cut that entire void out on the bandsaw. Now that we have the voids, what you do is you fill them with something in order to create the dead blow. Like a Deadblow mallet has something inside of it that stops the bounce from the mallet. Most popular are going to be BBs. These are literal BBs for a BB gun. We don't have enough to fill both of these voids, so the next best option is bullet casings. Obviously, what do we got? Spent 45s? Yep. Other junk sprinkled in there. Sam, who can we thank for these?
I don't know if I can legally tell you.
Perfect. We're going to go ahead and get these glued up. You're wondering to yourself, why, John, do you have spent .45 caliber bullet casings just sitting around your shop? It's because we poured 5,000 bullet casings into a table during the summer, and we didn't know what casings we wanted to use. Also, if you're gonna pour casings into resin, you definitely wanna make sure they're clean, and these are dirty, no bueno. Spanish. Cute. All right, to top them off, a little pepper. Always season your meat. Some people like to put glue in their like BBs and stuff so they don't rattle. We want to be reminded of the awesomeness every time we use this. So I'm not going to do that. That noise was real. I can already hear them playing a little jangle. All right, what's super important here is that you make sure if you have marks for the throat, that you keep them where they are. If I wasn't using something as hard as freaking Purple Heart, I could have pinned it, but my nail gun would definitely not have gone through that. Bullets. All right, let's get these cleaned up. Alrighty, these are looking really good. Got some super crisp, clean lines on the glue up. And now we just gotta cut our tenon. To the bandsaw. Let's see how close. All right, so that width is perfect. Just a little tight here. Perfect. All right. So I'm not going to snug it the whole way in because we are going to split it so that way we can get some wedges in here, which I should probably do now so we can turn it. Could probably do that a little bit, but it will be sweet once we get down to it. Conceptually, we should be good. So let's glue this sucker in. They're pretty seated. Last thing to do, put some finish on it. Little walnut oil. Ooh. Putting oil on walnut never gets old. I do quite like the scale of this. So it's time to glue up a form. Now I did the math for the mold and our next mold for our next project. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and then hit that bell. Yeah, hit that little ding-a-ling-ling bell icon so your notification goes off so you can see my next resin project as well, because they're getting poured simultaneous. We're attempting flow cast again for this pour. Same stuff we used on the dovetails that float. That time we only poured it to be 3/4 of an inch. This time we're going to pour 1.5 inches. So we need 5.5 liters of resin. All right, so epoxy is cured, finally. Good thing it was 22 degrees in May. Really didn't help cure time on this. I took these molds home and I had them in my bathroom with the bathroom heater on for 2 days. I went in yesterday and I shot it with a gun. 130 degrees in that room. My electric bill is going to pummel me this month. But it's worth it for stupid epoxy mallets, right? Totes worth it. For all the yins that say it doesn't stick to melamine, you're wrong. So I've got a rudimentary sketch of what I think I want to do here. This should be kind of close to square because I poured it in a square box. Start making some parts. Handle. All right, so here's the concept of what we're doing, because I know you people are curious. So essentially, I'm going to create a box with a handle that goes in the center, and then we'll cap it like this, and then I'll make it clear. We'll add some fishies inside so they can float and have a happy life. Pretty simple. But to make it crystal clear, I have to sand everything first. So, sanding montage. All right, so we have used the sander up to 1400 grit. Little hand polish now at 2000. See if I can get this to be a little bit more clear than the gun box. We took our time a little more on this guy. So we've got some plastics, clear plastic cleaner and polish, which was a recommendation on some videos, so we're gonna give this a shot. This is the stuff you use on your hazy headlights on your 1982 Buick. Pretty young, but I feel like that 82 might have not been the year, but the Buick Skylark, hot in college or high school. First cars, I had like 4 friends with one. I don't know, Sam. I'm thinking we may have found a solution to our clarity problems. Okay, so these are polished up, looking pretty damn good. We're getting decent at this. So here's the concept. Boom, handle. We're gonna have side here, that glued up, one here, and the same on the sides. Then our fish should go, then we'll fill it with our liquid. Sam may have some rocks or pebbles, and then we have to cap the other side. So I'm gonna just do some measurements, and then we'll get to it. So I don't know if you can see this, but the way we're gonna do this, I can't have this lip here. They were in the same box, but I didn't completely surface these with like a router or something, so now we're gonna have to just redo this whole side. They're not letting me illuminate these nicks. Beautiful. All right, so to keep this as close to square as I can, we're gonna glue up these 3 parts first on both sides, let those dry, and then glue up the middle part. I'll get this sanded again while that's drying, and then we'll glue it down to the outside face. So I'm going to use some regular epoxy with fast hardener to glue this part up because this stuff doesn't dry as clear. I'm going to get these as clear as possible since they're a little bit bigger joints. So while I'm doing weird shit, I want to take a second to thank Woodcraft for sponsoring this build. If yins are looking to get into epoxy or make the crazy large mallet I made at the beginning of this video, you can get all that stuff at Woodcraft. Got a link down in the description. Check them out. Also, if you're looking for wood in your area, they've got stores all over the country. You could probably find it there. I get a ton of DMs on, where can I buy wood? Buy it there. Buy it at Woodcraft. Linked down below. It's looking like a big ice cube, like a big mallet ice cube. So now we're gonna just chill for 2 hours.
2 days later.
So we've dried overnight. We now have a beautiful scenery for little Archibald and his friend. We've got to test it to see if it's watertight though, again. Well, that's a good sign. All the water last time was pouring out over here and on this side, so it looks like we're sealed up pretty solid. Now we just gotta, I think now we can set the fish in the top lid. So we have decided on a name. I haven't even told Sam. We have Archibald and Rona, so we can remember the times. Thanks to all of you that participated in the stories. Quite hilarious. Some really good stuff there. If you're not watching my stories, get on top of it. Now I guess we just pour some water in. Be brave, Archibald. Be brave. It's so dumb. But it's the same concept as a Deadblow, so it's kind of cool, I guess. Looks like I'll do a little cleanup after that dries in a few hours, and hopefully they like their forever home. So this project ended up going in a super weird direction, and I don't hate it. If you guys are liking the weirdness and want to see me do more weird stuff, I got another video queued up for you right here.